These are the 7 princes of hell. Peter Binsfeld was a German bishop and religious scholar born in Germany in 1540. As a child, it was determined he was gifted enough to be sent to Rome to study. Once home from school, he would mostly be recognized for his part in anti-Protestant campaigns. But where he would go down in history would be his role in the witch trials of Trier. These would take place in Germany from 1581 to 1593. It was during this 12-year span that Binsfeld would conjure his most influential work, The Confessions of Witches and Warlocks. It's in this book that you will find his list, the 7 princes of hell, and he would choose each one based on the 7 deadly sins. Starting with number 7, Belphegor, the demon of sloth. Binsfeld saw him as the chief of laziness, which may have been true, but his cunning and wit made up for it. He would use these traits to manipulate man. He might whisper in someone's ear to guide them to riches, only to come back later and steal it all. Depending on which list you reference, Satan is the demon of wrath. Early Christians tended to believe in Satan, and contrary to popular belief, he is not the same demon as Lucifer. Around 1400, the hysteria about witchcraft and warlocks would spiral out of control, and people who before never worried about Satan or really believed in him, started to. This gave him power, and he began influencing people towards corruption. They chose him as wrath because he was often an angry demon. And when in a rage, you better watch out. Others list the fallen angel Azazel. You see him referenced in the book of Enoch as one of the 200 watchers. When they descended upon earth to bear children with man's daughters, Azazel would play the biggest role on teaching humans sin. He would teach them of sword and armor and unknown metals, causing massive wars among man. He would eventually be cast into darkness for eternity by Archangel Raphael. After being banished, his anger rose, and he became known for wrath. Number 5 is Beelzebub. He represents gluttony. He's the second in command to Lucifer. You may know him as the Lord of the Flies. Number 4 is Leviathan, a hellmouth whose mouth are the gates to hell. He consumes those who envy. Number 3, Asmodeus. He represents the sin of lust, referenced as the builder of the city of King Solomon. He would instill lust through the land from the kings to the common folk. Mammon. He represents the sin of greed, and he would enslave those driven by greed and wealth. Number 1, Lucifer, representing the worst sin of all, pride. Lucifer was once an archangel, but his good looks and wit went to his head. He would use his charm to attain anything he wanted. So at one point, he believed he could even run heaven. After leading a rebellion against God, he lost, so he was cast to hell for eternity. 10 signs you may have the presence of a demon. 10 is probably the most commonly known, and that's cold spots. Regardless of where your thermostat is or how warm it is, you'll feel a cold spot. Number 9 is hearing familiar voices. A lot of times demons will imitate somebody close to you and they'll say your name in their voice. Number 8, oftentimes you feel like you're being watched. There will literally be nobody around and you feel like somebody is watching you at all times. It's that uneasy gut feeling you get when you feel like somebody is stalking you. Number 7 is a disturbed sleep cycle. You'll get sleep paralysis and oftentimes have nightmares about dead people. Many people have also said they'll wake up constantly at 3:33 a.m. This is known as the witching hour. It gives demons extra power. Number 5 is you actually have identifiable ghostly activity. These ghosts are also known as poltergeist. They have enough power to physically move things. Number 4 is either you or your children will wake up with cuts and bruises. There was a lady who had a daughter that kept talking to an imaginary friend. She didn't think nothing of it until this imaginary friend kept trying to get her to go to the basement. So she decided she'd put a heavy lock on the door. The next morning, her daughter woke up with cuts and bruises everywhere. Apparently, it pissed the demon off that he didn't get his way. Another is actual demonic possession, twisting and contorting of the body. Eventually, the person you knew will no longer be there. The regular eye color will disappear, and they'll look almost dead. At times, they even levitate. If this happens, call a priest right away because they need to perform an exorcism. If you yourself or a significant other has a demon, you will see serious outbursts of anger out of nowhere. These outbursts will seem so sudden that you won't even recognize the person. Look for super black eyes. If you have a constant sickness that doctors cannot diagnose, you might have a demon. Going along with that, if you're having thoughts of hurting yourself or having thoughts of any self-harm at all, you might have a demon. And then finally, seizures. If you're having seizures and you never had before, you could have a demon. These seizures will be comparable to epileptic seizures. And to wrap it up, I've seen a lot of people asking how you get rid of them. A good home remedy is holy water. Say the Lord's Prayer while you spread holy water all over your house. And after that, get sage, light it up, but blow it out and let it smoke off. Get right with him and put pictures of Jesus up. So on the signs of a demon post, I've been seeing this question a lot. How do I get rid of them? Well, here are 6 ways. A simple yet effective way of detecting negative energies in your house is the following. Grab a glass, get sea salt. Fill the glass about 1/3 of the way with the sea salt. Then fill it the rest of the way with water. Put it in the room where you feel the energy is negative. Leave it untouched for 24 hours and look at the results. If it's like this, you got a negative entity. If it looks exactly like you left it, then you're good. Your house is clean. An effective way of getting rid of this negative entity is using the sound of fire. The sound of fire is often called Ram, and you can use Ram to benefit you in many ways. This is associated with the sun god of Hinduism, Lord Rama. And in desperate times, just shout out Ra. Shouting the name of the sun god will actually shield your aura. Another quick and easy defense mechanism, clap your hands. In the center of your palms, there are 2 very powerful chakras. These chakras are most of the time closed because they're preventing negative energies from entering your body. Clapping them opens them up. Number 3, sing. Walk around your house and sing. Even if you're a terrible singer like me, sing loud and proud. The higher frequency, the more it'll scare off the parasites. Number 4, plan a trip to the ocean. Salt water is one of the best deterrents of negative entities. Number 5, keep moving. Exercise, dance, whatever it takes. Staying moving is the breath of life to your body and your aura. And finally, number 6, ladies, you'll like this one. Treat yourself to a priestess bath. Get equal parts lavender, rosemary, and lemon peel. Put it in a tea ball, throw in a shot of sea salt. Then rinse with cool water.